Hello! Welcome back to dramatic music. Welcome back to Warhammer II. We're going to be doing, just like I said in some replies to comments, we're going to be doing the Mortal Empires campaign. So, obviously you can see the two choices here. In order to play Mortal Empires, you must own the first and second games, and it will also pull in all DLC you own for the first game, I think. So I think I own all of the playable races for it, but just as a comparison, here's the Eye of the Vortex. This is the campaign we did before. It's got 4 playable races and, you know, a few leader choices amongst them, but 4 playable races. If I click on Mortal Empires, there's a few more playable races. All of them, in fact, which is pretty good. However, having said that, the map is not technically Warhammer 1 and Warhammer 2 smushed together. It sort of is, but it has been shrunk down. That's probably an engine limitation or an optimization limitation or something like that, in terms of the actual map size. However, it is still technically the 2 games smushed together. It's just not the full map. And I'll show you that once we get into it. But this is Mortal Empires. Essentially, it's just the game with more things, for more or less. So
we must
go ahead and click on it. We have the 4 from Warhammer 2 right at the start here. You'll note that some choices are missing. That's because it's just a thing with this mode. Not all choices are available. We have the Empire, which is a remarkably easy faction to play as. They have a super easy start, and they're generally sort of strong. They do have to worry about Chaos, though, because they are pretty close to the border with Chaos. And by the border with Chaos, I mean the border where all of the Chaos troops spawn. So, that's the thing. But they have a pretty easy start. Then you have the Dwarves. Obviously, Dwarves, generally mountainous peoples. You have the Bretonnians, which are a strange faction based on chivalry, but they have a pretty good start as well. They're blocked off by the Wood Elves, which they have a debatable relationship with. The Wood Elves have a pretty hard start because they only have one start city, and their locations for attack are a bit garbage, but you know, I mean, they're Wood Elves. They live in the wood. This is the wood. That is the entirety of it. It's only 4 regions. So, but then you also have the Greenskins. I think the Greenskins are capable of holding settlements and stuff. I'm pretty sure they are. And this is a Greenskin of importance. Crooked Moon here. His goal is to reoccupy the fabled settlement of Kadak 8 Peaks. It's unique buildings that he can build there and stuff like that. He has a hard start, primarily just due to his start location. And this right here can only recruit Orc units from Kadak 8 Peaks, so he's stuck with goblins, which are pretty weak. Except for these, I think, are pretty good. Mostly just because of the speed and the poison. But they also start with an Arachnarch Spider, which is extraordinarily powerful, especially at the start of the game. It's got basically nothing to counter it, so his starting army is a bit strong. We have the Vampire Counts, including Vlad and the good old Isabella over there. Which I was contemplating playing as. Maybe I'll do 2 campaigns, because this is initial challenge easy, so this campaign would be a joke if I did it. But I sort of do want to play as Vlad. Maybe I'll do 2 campaigns together. You also have Chaos, which are hordes. They cannot occupy settlements, period, at all, ever. They are simply hordes. They all start in the same spot, and there will only ever be one of them. It's just who you pick. And they can awaken the Norscan tribes, essentially as military allies in their, Chaos campaign, stuff like that. Chaos units Extremely powerful, extremely well armored. And, you know, chaos corruption. Really bad for basically everybody else in the game, except for her, I think. I think she might be the only person that does chaos. So that's a thing. And then you also have these guys over here, the Beastmen. Beastmen are also hordes. I do not believe they can take settlements at all, so... I don't think they can, anyway. They might be able to, who knows, but there's the Beastmen. They wander around and, you know, maul people, as demonstrated by this horrific video over here of this dude getting cut in half. Good times. Anyway, we are going to play as a dwarf, specifically, and this is why I mentioned the, this guy over here, Crooked Moon. We're going to play as Belegar Ironhammer.
You have my hammer.
We have his hammer, apparently. Just like Crooked Moon, he starts with a very potent starting army because he has 4 ephemeral allies in his unit, which are very, very good. I think they start at like rank 5 too. So they're pretty good. Much like all, well, exactly like all other dwarves, they also have grudges, which is basically just a do this, get bonuses, don't do it, everyone hates you sort of thing. They can use the underway. I think a lot of units, or a lot of factions of this game can actually use something similar to this. The Underway or Dark Elves, Wood Elves can use World Roots, stuff like that. And because they are dwarves, obviously they have heavily armored units with extraordinarily high leadership and very good siege equipment. They are, however, being dwarves, extraordinarily slow. Like, look at this. This is their fast unit. It has 33 speed. Let's look at these, 28 speed. Let's look at a normal unit for these guys. He's the cavalry guy.
I never fail.
27 is their normal unit. 75 for their cavalries.
I deem your quest worthy.
30 for that dude. Dwarves are very slow. I don't think dwarves have cavalry, actually. Do they have cavalry? I don't know. Either we're going to start as this guy. He has the same hard challenge because his goal, just like the little goblin dude over here, is to capture Karak 8 Peaks. That is, of course, his ancestral home, I think. I think so, anyway. But until he does that, and this is a much, much worse penalty than Goblin Man here gets, we have 50% more upkeep on all units until we get Karak 8 Peaks captured, which is huge. Limits our army to basically just 1 or possibly 2 until we capture that, so that'll be a good first goal. Unfortunately, it's on the other side of the fucking island, continent, whatever. It's not really, I guess it technically is just a really big island, but anyway, dwarves have bonus leadership. Well, this particular dwarf has bonus leadership when sieging, starts with 4 ancestor heroes, and has a unique building chain and Karak, as we know. This particular lord gets bonus when siege attacking. You might notice there's a lot of siege stuff going on here. And he also gets vanguard deployment during underway battles, which nobody else gets, I don't think, so that's pretty huge. And evasion chance when using the underway, again, pretty huge. Starts with some rangers, some dwarf warriors, and some hammerers, which are all pretty good in general. Hammerers are great because they're this. If they get into range of something, they're going to do damage, and a whole lot of it. But anyway, that was 9 minutes of talking. Let's go ahead and get it underway. Belegar Ironhammer is a king in exile. Thrice before he has attempted to retake Karak 8 Peaks, but been thwarted. Indeed. His last expedition failing due to the machinations of a particularly cunning Night Goblin Warlord, which is going to be our enemy forever.
Is adrift, my lord Belegar, yet hope remains. The dwarf lords of Karak Izor have sponsored your quest to retake your ancestral home. A chance yet lingers. The journey will be long and perilous. There is much ground between here and your throne, and enemies are everywhere. To the north, the treacherous and duplicitous Skarsnik, self-proclaimed warlord of Karak 8 Peaks, moves to usurp your birthright once more. Time is of the essence. Yet in the east, The Badlands teem with more greenskins, and even the border princes may wish to exploit your plight. You must not relent. Through
So-
your rage and determination, the fortress of Karak Eight Peaks shall be returned to dwarf rule once again, with you, Belegar Ironhammer, as its rightful king.
You're damn right. Anyway, we don't need to worry about that. Occupy loot raise. Get some money. That'll be helpful. So, this is our start location. There's this guy here. Hopefully he fucks off, but he may not. Optimally, he fucks off. Anyway, this is our start location. We have this. There's not much to it. We have some dwarves here, which are generally friendly, and some dwarves here, which we want to keep alive, technically. These two provinces we're going to take quickly. Our destination is over here somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but it's over there somewhere. So we have to get from here all the way over here. And this whole area is just full of people that hate us. So it'll be pretty good. Weisenland over here starts pretty powerful, you can see. They're going to be a good ally of ours, hopefully. So, this is our starting army, plus we have the additional help of these 4 people here. These people are all ephemeral. How do I see that? Somewhere in here. Well, there's the bonus they get from it, so. I was trying to look for the buff somewhere, and it's not showing up here. Either way, these guys are all ephemeral, so they all have a 75% physical damage reduction. You know, being ephemeral, that's sort of how that works. They also talk a lot, you might have noticed. So, they are going to be parking themselves in our army there. Actually, hold on. Frame rate's being weird. That's probably why it's being weird. There we go. Don't know why my frame rate was being weird, but it was. I may have cut myself off when I actually changed that because I think it stopped the recording briefly, but it doesn't really matter. So our first goal, obviously, is going to be to hope that he goes over here, as he normally does. Well, when he did this in my little test run, I did a few turns for a test run and he wandered off over there. First goal, we're going to build some more of these guys just so we can beef up our army. And we're going to make our way over here to Kirik Bofdar and Zarexils, which we can take hopefully pretty quickly. Dwarves have a complicated tech tree, you might have noticed. We're going to want this diplomatic relationship stuff pretty quickly. We're also going to want income, we're also going to want leadership, but let's go ahead and start with this basic income, because 5%, oh, actually no, let's do this. Let's get the diplo relation as quickly as we can. It will be beneficial to have. We're going to go ahead and fast forward this as well. It's been quiet all day. The instant I start recording, it's apparently time to get stuff out in the kitchen. There he goes. I don't know what's up with that. Just, it's quiet all day, and then start recording, and it's apparently time to cook. So here's our grudge. This is just our campaign objective, basically. There's Karak Eight Peaks over here, apparently. Probably right around there. So, bit of a distance to get there, but still, that is our goal. How far can we get with this? Exactly this. Actually, we can get less distance out of doing that. Apparently, that's a bit bizarre. I forgot to build this on our first turn, but we will want this trinket maker. Because we will desperately want the money from that. Because as you can see, our starting army here takes 2.3k just to maintain that. It's not a bad army by any stretch, but 2.3k can usually get you a pretty good late game army with most factions. Not in our case because we have a horrific maintenance for it, but you know, upkeep, that's the word. Words are hard. I'm bad at English, so go ahead, wander over here. This is a free kill. And sort of tempted to loot and occupy. But that's gonna ruin, nah, we'll just occupy. It's gonna ruin my plans. So take this, build that, because we want the money. We got a rune, don't worry about those right now. And we want Route Marcher, because we need to be able to cover distances quickly. Because we're gonna end up down here, and we want to quickly come back up here and help this guy out. Because this guy shares territory with Crooked Moon. Crooked Moon has a much stronger military than him. So we want to keep Crooked Moon from taking this stuff over and theoretically, optimally, actually get rid of that faction entirely because that'll cut out a lot of struggles with us for early game here. If we could kill Crooked Moon early before, you know, he starts gaining a lot of armies and taking over territory or anything, it'll make our push for Carrack 8 a lot easier. So we've got that. Let's go ahead and get our Diplo relations starting to go up as soon as possible. And let's go ahead and not force march, actually. I was thinking about it, but we'll do it the slow way. So the reason I'm not force marching them is I want to maintain the an extra turn, basically half a turn of reinforcements, replenishment. Words are hard still. Just like the early game with basically any Total War campaign, there's just going to be a lot of rapid turn passing.
Shield of Defiance. Speak.
Who are you? Appear to have lost some territory, I think. Who are you at war with? Skull Takers. Fair enough. I'm at war with a lot of people, including the Skull Takers. Who the hell are you guys? Wait, do these people own? They own what we want. The Crooked Moon Mutinous Gits. Alright. Fair enough. Anyway, we will take this non-aggression pact because they are someone that I desire to ally with. Same with these people. Now, in a perfect world, you would end up taking this stretch of mountain and this stretch of mountain pretty quickly. But I think I'm going to end up allying with these two here. The Grey Mountain and the Black Mountain Dwarves. So we're going to take this chunk here, the Vaults, I think is what that is. Yeah, the Vaults. We're going to take these three territories, keep the Grey Mountains alive, and keep the Black Mountains alive, and then from there we basically have to figure out what we're doing, which in that case I'm not actually quite sure yet. So it'll take another turn to capture this. That's fine. This is exactly what went off in my test game as well, so I'm not too bothered. Not going to spend any money yet. Again, our income, very, very limited, so...
Yes? The dwarves have come. I hope they have... Sigmar's will!
The dwarves have come, indeed.
Who calls?
Tilia probably won't trade with me.
We may not
No.
be the...
Tilia is part of the Southern Realms, which is the Border Princes as well. Border Princes have a lot of territory and not particularly much of a military for some reason. Don't really know why. There is a horde still over here somewhere, so we will have to bear that in mind. Depending on where that horde goes and where it ends up, we'll have to adjust our military. Who is this? Oh, that's actually kind of bad. So, Wedrioth is over here. It's one of the Wood Elf factions. I don't know why they united against me. but that bothers me immensely, so.
To vengeance!
Again, free kill. This is just a garbage greenskin army.
For the Dummer's clone!
So, this is a dwarven thing. So, these are basically enhanced max experience units that you can purchase.
True king of 8 peaks.
So I can go ahead and show them to you. There they are. They are more expensive in terms of upkeep, I believe. It should be exactly like these, except stronger, so. That's essentially what they are. It's just max experience units that you can recruit. They're not necessarily bad. However, for us, it's not something we're going to be able to use because they cost more, and then plus that 50% is going to very hard to put into action. Do we want that? Yeah, we want that. And we'll want training on everyone that can take it. These are all the 4 dudes that we started with. I'm just going through their stuff. So we want training because it's just going to give passive experience to the dudes in this army. Obviously beneficial. Oh, I don't have a commandment. We are going to want growth. The more growth, the more better buildings we can have, which will give us more income, and we're going to need the income because, for God knows what reason, nobody wants to be in this guy's army when he doesn't have his capital. I can't imagine why, but that is the case as I shuffle around in my chair. So unfortunately, we've already had a change from what my test game was. Because in my test game, this faction here never went against me. And in fact, this guy actually managed to get peace with him, which was rather strange, all things considered. Get more emissaries. The more people like us, the better, because we can get, we want another trinket maker? Probably. I could get more growth. That might not be a bad idea, actually. Go ahead and grab that.
Lord of the Angrund. Grudge bearer.
This is the underpass, underway. That's what it is. For anyone curious what I just did there. Means you can just basically go underneath everything in a set circle, a flat circle around your unit. Pretty good for getting places quickly. We're only making 84 from that place. Good God. So we're going to move... Oops. We're going to move our army back towards the north here. Probably actually going to park it in this place. Border princes in Averland are... Or Averland's over here somewhere, I think. Might be there. I think, anyway. Maybe not. I don't know, I thought Averland was somewhere. That just zooms over here. That doesn't help me any.
Iron hammer.
Yeah, Iron Hammer. We'll make a detour here because it'll give us a little bit of positivity for a turn. Alright, let's look at our stuff. You,
Come, kin. Let
I would
us
like a
go.
military alliance with, but you're not quite happy enough with me for it yet, but it will be increasing.
Aye.
I wish I could trade with these people, but I can't. I actually don't quite know why. Well, it's probably because of this territory here. I might need access to that. Yeah, it would. Oh well.
Who called?
My trade caravans unfortunately
party.
cannot go underground. I wish they could, but it is not an option. You know what I should do, actually, when this turn is done? Trade agreement dissolved. Oh, they lost that territory. To who? Who is this? Skull Takers.
Scum. What's got your beards in a twist?
Oh, there they are. They're the group that declared war on the border princes. Anyway, you. No, you. God damn it. Okay, so they do still have that territory there.
Anad?
I don't know why it canceled my overview, but whatever.
Zulrikas! Onward!
See what I'm saying, man? It's so good. Upgrade that one so we can upgrade the growth. A little bit more growth will speed the others up.
Belagar!
I think that's it for now. This guy probably still doesn't want
What?
a military alliance or
Honor to your
anything.
ancestor.
Can I do something about the fact that I'm at war with these guys?
I should have your beard for entering our halls uninvited. Ill-considered.
Why do you dislike me so much? I have negative 10 aversion for some reason. Is it just because I'm a dwarf? I don't know. I mean, dwarves and wood elves generally don't get along anyway, but in my test game, this guy actually took a non-aggression agreement, which is very good. Because having this guy being aggressive to me means he's got easy access basically into the center of my little kingdom here. So if I can keep him happy, this would please me immensely. Well, I hate you, game. We just got negative growth, that's all that was saying. I should read that actually. Oh no, this is the same message as before. A triangular symbol daubed on a nearby gate or wall. Okay, well, it's a little ominous. Now, because of what happened over here, this actually opens an opportunity for me. It's not a great climate. We are dwarves. We tend to live in mountains. Do I even want that, actually? No, I don't think I do. I think we're going to let Weisenland take that back on their own if they can. So we're just going to keep waiting. Just passing turns for now. Cracked Moon is currently more powerful than me, that's to be expected.